comfy. We're going to spend a lot of time on the floor or your yoga mat today, so you don't have to worry about any props or anything. We might start adding those in next week to some of our classes, and we'll start off with really simple things that you'll probably have around the house. And don't worry, I'll give you plenty of options and modifications as well. That way you can be sure that you don't feel left out. And again, prompts are totally optional, especially while we're in this kind of crazy time being here at home. So feel free to, if you don't want to use them, that's okay. I'm just going to reposition my watch here. That way I don't go over. If you've had me in class before, you know I have a tendency to go over on time. So you want to be respectful and just do the 30 minutes. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. And we do have some special guests that might be joining us today. So don't worry, I'll make an announcement when class starts, but we're excited to have some new faces join our Facebook live stream. As always, it's amazing to see you. Thank you for joining us. And if you missed something in the workout we're about to do today, don't worry. We're going to post it to Facebook after this anyway, so you can always go back and watch it again. Again, I've got music in the background, but if you can't hear it as well as you'd like, feel free to just jam out on your end with some music. And I do apologize, I'm not sure how well that microphone on my camera is, because I've got some birds outside my window that are really happy singing songs today, but I'm not sure if you can actually hear them. So if you can, I apologize for bird noise in the background. It sounds really lovely on my end though, so. But it's close enough to 12:15. So we're gonna actually start on the floor or on the mat today, whatever feels good for you and your bodies. And I did wanna welcome the T-Mobile digital team to our Facebook Live broadcast today. Welcome everyone. Don't worry if you haven't done Pilates before, we're just gonna get through this the best we can. And hopefully you have a good time, we get those bodies moving and get you a little bit active on your Wednesday. So to start out our day, we're gonna start in what's called mermaid. So it's a little tricky in terms of what our legs are gonna do. My right shin is gonna come parallel in front of my body, looking towards the camera. My left leg is gonna bend to where my knee and kind of the arch of my right foot are connected, and my left shin is running parallel to the sides of my body, pointed towards the wall over here. Now here's where it gets tricky, because I want my hips parallel, so I don't want to start leaned over with this booty off the floor. So I really want to make sure that I'm nice and comfy. If for any reason this bothers your knee, feel free to straighten the leg, that's okay. So I'm going to sit up tall, shoulders down and back. Now my right arm is just going to rest gently on the ground beside me, on my fingertips. My left arm is going to start on the floor. And take a nice deep inhale. As I exhale, I'm side bending over, stretching like I'm trying to touch the wall. And the shoulder is still down and back in the socket. I'm not collapsing it forward. As I stretch, 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 and then come all the way back up. Again, very minimal hip shifting with this. As I stretch over, 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 stretch, 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 stretch. And I'm really trying to pinch my lower ribs down towards my hip, just going straight over and back up. One more time. Stretch, 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 over. Reach, 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 reach. All right, now, if that's as far as you want to go today, stay with just this nice mermaid. Otherwise, if we want to add to this, we're going to do what's called threading the needle. So I'm going to reach over as far, far, far as I can, and then rotate to look at the ground. Come back to my side bend, and then up. So I'm mermaiding over, same thing we just did, and then rotating my entire spinal column to look at the ground, come back to center, and up. And I really want this to be two distinct motions of all the way over and then rotate back to the side and up. Because if I start to bend and twist at the same time, that's where a lot of spinal injuries are more likely to come from, especially if we're new to Pilates or maybe just new to this movement. So again, just taking good care of our spine. We're going to do two more. So reach, rotate, back to center, and up. Last one. Reaching all the way over, rotate, back to center, and then up. Perfect. Now, before we just zip on over to the other side, I'm going to leave this foot and kind of maneuver it over a little bit. That way I can come into what's called prayer feet. So the bottom of my feet are coming together, kind of like a prayer pose. And then my knees are going as wide as they can while my heels come as close to my pelvic floor as possible. I'm going to start sitting up nice and tall, bring my arms overhead, and then waterfall forward. And my goal is to bring my forehead or my nose to the ground. Depending on flexibility will depend on how far down we go. And of course, as I come all the way down, I'm just melting forward. And every time I exhale, I'm trying to go a little lower and a little lower. Perfect. Just getting that nice deep inhale, deep exhale. If you're like, I can't do half of what she did, that's fine. So what I want you to do is put your hands or your elbows on those knees and just gently, very, very gently press down towards the floor so we can open up our thighs and our hip floor and all that pelvic cavity. Just get that nice stretch. So even if you can't go down as far as I did, that's fine. You don't have to become one with the ground. And we're just going to hang out there for just another second. So just take a nice deep inhale and then exhale slowly. Articulate that spine all the way up. Now let's do those mermaids on the other side. So again, left shin in front, right knee and arch the left foot come together. And then now my right shin is pointed towards this wall. Left fingertips are on the carpet, right hand is stretched, shoulders down and back. Nice deep inhale, exhale, side bending over, stretching, shoulder down and back in the socket. I'm not collapsing forward. And then back up. And again, to repeat, side bending over, trying to really kiss these lower ribs to my hip bone, and then coming back up. And this might be where you start to realize that, my range of motion isn't as good on one side as the other. And that's okay. That's why we're practicing Pilates. Practice makes perfect. Perfect. So we're going to do one more. And then if we did the rotation on the other side, we'll add that back in on this side. Again, if rotations are not your jam today, don't worry about it. So the next time I come all the way over, I'm going to rotate to look at the ground, come back up, and then down. Beautiful. So I'm side bending all the way over first, protecting my spine, rotating to look at the ground, coming back to that mermaid, and then up. Beautiful. My core is on because again, it's Pilates. Always on. And I'm getting that lovely stretch through now my right side of the body. Two more. So I come all the way over, rotate. You can drop this arm down if you want. Bring it back and up. Last one. Mermaiding over, rotating. If we want, drop that arm. Bring it back to my side bend. And then up. Perfect. Now, I'm going to keep my legs in this position and start warming up my legs, especially this booty. So if I sit up nice and tall, you can do whatever you need to with the arms to help you balance. But I'm going to use my booty to, as I exhale, press up into neutral hips. And then using my booty, slowly, slowly, slowly lower down. So again, booty presses me up. And I'm not just falling down. I'm using the booty all the way up and all the way back down. If you have knee injuries and this is like, not feeling good, go ahead and come into a kneeling position. And then again, use that booty to press you up and lower you down. Perfect. Just like that. So we're just kind of getting a little bit more stretching and strengthening by keeping the legs in this mermaid position. Perfect. Two more. So we're going to come all the way up, stretch, 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 stretch. Make sure those hips are in neutral. Lower down, core is still on, it's always on. Last one, come up, down, down, down. And now we're going to add some rotation into this. So the next time I come up, I'm just going to open to the left, come back to center, open to the right, back to center, and then slowly lower down. Perfect. Give me two more. So coming up, rotating to the left, stretching that arm back wide behind me, back to center, stretching, opening to the right, back to center, slowly coming down. Last one, slowly coming up, using that booty. Rotate left, stretch, back to center, rotate right, stretch, back to center. But now, as I come down, I'm going to put my hands on the mat so I can push my knees back behind me into a quadruped. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. I'm just going to do some cat-cows. Arching my spine up to the sky and then lowering it down. Inhale, stretch that back up to the sky. Exhale, lower that spine down. As always, if cat-cows really don't stretch your back out very much, you're more than welcome to wiggle those hips side to side. Just get that nice stretch. Or if there's another stretch that really feels good for your back, feel free to do that here. Again, this is your time to do what feels good for you and your body. Now, the next time I come into that nice neutral spine, I'm going to bring now right leg forward, left leg into that position and come down. Because we warmed up one side of the booty, we should probably do the other. And again, using the booty, nice deep inhale, exhale, come all the way up, push, 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 and then slowly down, down, down. Perfect. And again, if this bothers the knees, go back into that parallel position that I showed you a second ago. Perfect. So pressing up, core is engaged, glutes are on fire, and then slowly, slowly down. Perfect. And again, the slower you can come up and the slower you can come down, the more we can really focus on what those legs and booties are doing. Perfect. Give me 2 more. And then after our second one, we'll get those rotations involved again. Perfect. Up, all the way down. Last one, up. Hips forward, all the way down. Now this is going to be our rotation one. So I come all the way up. Now I rotate to the right, back to center, rotate to the left, back to center, and then down. Perfect. And then inhale, up, 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 up. Exhale, rotate right, back to center. My glutes are on the entire time that I'm doing my rotation, and then down. Beautiful. 2 more. Up, 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 up. Hips on. Rotate right. Back to center. Rotate left. Back to center. Down for our final one. And then come all the way up. Rotate right. Back to center. Rotate left. Back to center. And then come on down. Perfect. If you need to, you can rock those knees side to side. Shake it out a little bit. But now I'm going to come onto my back for some bridges. So if I lay down on my back, my hips are nice and neutral. My feet are firmly planted on the ground. My hands are on the floor or monitoring my hips. I'm going to take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, flat back hinge up and down. And up and down. And again, if you prefer an articulating bridge here, feel free to do that instead. Again, articulating bridges just mess with my low back, so I prefer hinging bridges. But again, that's just me and an old injury that I have. Perfect. Now, let's try adding these arms in. So now, as I hinge up, bring those arms overhead, and as I hinge down, lower the arms. Perfect. Hinge up, arms overhead, and then down. The shoulders are still down and back. So as I'm hinging up and reaching overhead, I'm not pushing those shoulders up to turn into earrings. Now, the next time I'm up, if it feels good for your body, you're going to articulate all the way down and then bring the arms down. So still hinge up, arms overhead, melt that spine down, and then the arms down. It does not feel good for me today, so I am not going to do that. However, if it feels good for you, do it. Perfect. 1 more, and then we're going to add on. So hinge up, arms overhead, bring one leg up, pulse, pulse, set that foot down, hinge, articulate down, arms down. Hinge up, arms overhead, left leg up, pulse, pulse, set the foot down, and come on down. Hinging up, right leg, pulse, pulse, set it down, and then hinge, articulate down. Last one. Hinge up, left leg up, pulse, pulse, set that foot down, and hinge and articulate down. Perfect. Now, I'm going to glue my knees together, and roll onto my side. If I can move to where you can see me here. This bottom shoulder is down and back in the socket. My core is engaged. Hips are stacked one on top of the other, and my knees are glued together, and they're not going anywhere, which is really important. Both of my arms are stretching out away from me. Now, as I exhale, I'm going to bend my left arm and rotate left, but my knees aren't going anywhere. They're not rotating with me. And then I'm going to bring it back forward as I inhale. Exhale, bend this elbow. Extend this arm long out behind me. Inhale, bring it back forward. So my knees are always staying here. They're not rotating and moving with me. So bend, 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 rotate, stretch and reach, open up that chest. Come back to center. 2 more. Bend, 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 rotate, stretch, 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 stretch. Back to center, the last one. Bend and reach and rotate and stretch. And back to center. Perfect. Now from here, if you want, you're more than welcome to stay lying down. In fact, your head can rest on your arm as a pillow. If you want a little bit more of that total body feel, I want you to come up onto your elbow, but also pick these ribs up. So shoulder is down and back, and these ribs are naturally going to want to fall and just kind of turn off our abdominal cavity. Make sure the core is on, ribs are lifted. If you need to, if we ever do this in the future, put a pillow here, and that'll help keep that nice and comfy. My legs are in this tabletop. I'm going to keep my hand here to make sure my hips don't shift. I'm going to do clamshells, feeling outer thigh, outer booty kicking on. Core is on, shoulders are down and back. As you get tired, this shoulder is going to want to fall up here. Try to keep that shoulder down and back. Beautiful. Nice deep inhales, deep exhales. Relax that neck. Keep that core on as I lift and lower, lift and lower. Beautiful. I'm just going to do 5 more. Keep it real nice and easy. Up and down, up and down. Beautiful. We're going to do 2 more. 2, 1. Set it down. Now you can just straighten the legs, but I have a reformer here, so I'm going to scooch a little bit just so I don't whack anything. Again, shoulders down and back. Bottom leg is straight, top leg is straight. Now I'm just going to lift and lower this leg. If you're thinking, ooh, that's a little bit of a balance challenge and you need to bend this bottom leg, that's fine. Just make sure that my top leg isn't touching the ground because I really want to keep outer thigh, outer booty on. That way, those muscles are getting their best workout. Perfect, as I just lift and lower. And again, my hips are stationary. I'm not lifting so high that these hips are starting to wiggle wobble. Do 8 more. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and take a break if you need it. This shoulder might be talking to you, and that's okay. Perfect. And again, if you're lying down, just enjoy lying down. Perfect. So for this next one, now when I lift this leg, I'm just going to make little tiny circles. Just little circles. And I'm initiating that movement from my hip socket. I'm not just moving my foot. Because you might get some Rice Krispies out of your ankle, but that's not really doing much, especially for these big muscles. Perfect. Now let's go the other way. Other way with our circles. Because if you've ever taken one of my classes, you know we just can't go one way with our circles. Do 4 more. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Now if you were on your arm, just for a second, I want you to come up onto this shoulder. Bottom leg can either stay straight or again bent, whatever feels good. My top leg is going to rotate to where now my knee and toes are looking not straight up, but as pretty straight as we can get in this position. Top hand comes to behind my head or behind my ear. And as I exhale, I'm going to side crunch over, getting these obliques and back down. So crunching over and down. And you'll really feel these obliques start to talk to you as you touch this knee and elbow. And crunch, 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 crunch. And then back down. and then come up, crunch, 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 back down. Feeling this all through here. So again, I'm going sideways, just straight over and down. 4 more. Beautiful. 3 more. 2 more. Last one, then we'll take a little break before we add on, as we tend to do in my classes. So again, if that arm is grumpy, shake it out, or shake out whatever's feeling tight. Now we're going to add little pulses into that. So I'm going to get into that same position of whichever way I was doing. Now, when I crunch up, I'm going to go 1, 2, and then come down. So crunching up for 1, 2, and then down. And don't worry, we won't live here forever. How about this? We'll do 2 more. So crunch, crunch, and then crunch, crunch, and then be done. All right, so now again, if you need to shake it out, I'm going to come back into that quadruped that I was earlier. So hands under shoulders, knees are under hips. And again, just give me some cat-cows or stretch it side to side, whatever feels good for you and your body. Again, this is your time to listen to your body, especially in this case, our back, and see how that's doing, because so many of us have back ouchies. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to come to a neutral spine. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, step the left foot back, and then the right foot, haha, sneaky plank time, and then lift my left heel to the sky, lower it down, lift the right heel to the sky, keeping my hips in neutral, keeping my core engaged, shoulders on. Perfect. Excellent. 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come on down. And if you need to, stretch it out, whatever feels good. Cat-cows, child's pose. If you need to just shake those shoulders, because you know we did it on one side, we're going to do it on the other here in a minute. So stretch it out, whatever feels good for you. Don't worry, we're not done with planks that easy. So for our next one, I'm going to start on my hands. And again, if wrists are bothering you, come onto your forearms. Once I'm in my plank, I'm going to do shoulder taps. My core and glutes are on, so I'm not shifting any more than I have to. And again, if you're like, oh gosh, this hurts, come down on your knees. It's going to make life a lot easier. And the wider those knees are from one another, the less we have to worry about shaking side to side. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, come on down. Stretch it out. Whatever feels good for you and your body. Perfect. We just have 1 more set of planks to do. This one's going to focus more on our abdominals, especially those obliques we found earlier. So again, you can be on your forearms, you can be on your knees, or your hands, whatever feels good for you. In fact, I can take my socks off because my feet are sliding. Just not a good look when we're planking. All right, so now to do a rainbow, if I come into my plank, keeping my back straight, I'm going to lower this hip down, come back to center, and then lower it down to the other side. So I'm making little rainbows with my hips. Perfect. And again, if you're like, oh, that's a lot, come down on those knees. Perfect. Makes it a little easier. Beautiful. Now give me 4 more. So 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, stretch it out. Stretch of your choice. Shake, 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 shake. Now we're going to come onto that other side. Don't worry, we have that stretch to do as well. So again, if I'm sitting, I'm going to glue my knees together, rock them to the side, and then lie down. So again, my legs are in this kind of tabletop-y position. My bottom shoulder is down and back. Core is engaged, so I have that little gap between my rib cage and the floor. Top arm goes here. Again, knees are not going to move. As I exhale, bend this elbow, rotate right. Knees aren't going anywhere. Inhale, bring it on back together. Exhale, rotate and stretch. Inhale, back to center. And again, you'll probably start to notice, like, oh man, one side is not as flexible as the other. And that's okay. Again, that's why we're here. Perfect. Beautiful. Give me 2 more. And stretch. Last one. Bend, reach, stretch, 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 stretch. Arm comes forward. Oh, let's just do 1 more. Why not? These feel good. Now from here, if on the other side you use that arm as a pillow, go for it. For the rest of us, we're going to come up onto that arm. So shoulders under elbow. I'm not letting these ribs sink down. I'm lifting them up, using my core to keep everything engaged. Legs are still on tabletop, hand on my hip, so I can clamshell on this side. And again, the reason I want my hand here is sometimes when we clamshell, we shift our hips backwards. And so I'm just trying to avoid that. That way you can kind of feel when that shift is happening. And be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to stop just before the shift to keep my good form. Because again, I just want to stay in this outer thigh, outer booty area. Perfect. Let's just do 3 more. Why not? Excellent. Beautiful. And then after my last one, again, this is where if I need this bottom leg to stay bent, that's fine. Otherwise, I can straighten it. Again, just make sure that I'm not letting this bottom rib fall to the ground as I do my leg lifts and lowers. So again, my leg is lifting in line with my spinal column, so I stay in outer thigh, outer booty. If this leg starts to come forward, it's going to be all quad, which is great because your quads are massive. We don't really want to get those today. We want to stay over here and not over here. Perfect. And you might start to notice, this leg really needs it. Or for me, since it's my dominant side, I'm like, oh, I can do this all day. Beautiful. We're going to do 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And of course, if you need to, be like, oh, now I'm feeling this other shoulder. Thank goodness Pilates is all about total body fitness. So again, take a little break. We have leg circles, and then we're done with legs. So 2 directions, frontwards and backwards. So again, I'm going to come into that position, either on my forearm or using my arm as a pillow to lift the ribs. Bottom leg is either straight or bent. Lift this leg up. Little circles. Again, initiating from the hip socket and not moving the foot. So I see that a lot, actually. So just little circles, 5 more, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to go the other way. And it's okay if our circles are no longer circles. There's always that one side where we're like, what happened here? That's okay. They can be little triangles or squares. That's okay. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And then if you need to, take a break. Because again, hopefully you feel this. We're almost done. We still have those side obliques to do. So for those of you who were nice and comfy down here, just for this next set, I'd like for you to come up onto your forearm, shoulders still down and back, core is lifted, bottom leg is straight or bent. Again, whatever feels good for you and your body. I think I did this on the other side. And now this knee and foot are going to lift kind of at an angle towards the sky. Again, keeping that good form, hand behind my ear. And as I exhale, crunch up and down. Again, feeling these obliques as I bring my lower ribs in to try to kiss that hip bone. And elbow and knee try to touch. Beautiful. And then coming up, 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 and down. Up, 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 and down. Beautiful. 4 more. So 4, and 3, 2, 1. If you need to, take a little break, shake out anything that feels tight. We have those little pulses to do on this side of our obliques before we move on. Whew, I know. Hopefully you're feeling something. And it looks like the sun came out, so that's always great. It's a nice sunshine as we finish up our day. So again, I'm going to come down onto that forearm. Again, bottom leg is straight, bent, whatever feels good. Core on, hand behind the head. And as I come up, go pulse, pulse, and then release. Coming up, pulse, pulse, and release. Really just digging deeper into those obliques. Core is on, my bottom leg is still active. It's in a nice isometric hold, keeping all those muscles active so that I can perform this oblique crunch and stay steady. 2 more. Beautiful. Come on down, up, down. And now let's go ahead and just stretch it out to a child's pose for a second. Go, oh my gosh, we did a lot today. Ooh, stretch, stretch, stretch. From here, I'm going to come onto my tummy. This is always super hard for people because as soon as we lay down, we just want to pop our butt up to the sky and go into an anterior tilt. So really think about pushing bony landmarks of the hips into the ground. Core is on, hips are in neutral or imprint. So tuck that tailbone down if we need to. Arms are going to start long. I like to lift my legs to get a little bit deeper into this posterior chain. You don't have to. As I exhale, I'm going to lift up, pull those shoulders down and back, elbows wide, press all the way out, and come down. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, pull wide, wide, wide. Shoulders are down and back. Press out. Come down. Nice deep inhales, deep exhales, and down. Inhale up. Exhale, wide, wide, wide. Inhale out and down. 2 more. Up, pulling those shoulders down and back. Pressing out and down. Last one. Pulling up, pulling back, 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 back. Pressing out and down. Now, we're going to do a really, really baby modified rocking chair or rocker, depending on the verbiage and jargon you've heard. Don't worry, if this doesn't feel good, we can just go into a child's pose. But if I bend my right foot, my right hand's going to grab it on the top of the foot, and then my left side is going to do the same thing. For you all, I'm going to start with the forehead on the ground. I'm going to be looking at the camera for audio purposes. Now, take a nice deep inhale, and as I exhale, lift those knees and your chest up off the ground, and then come on down. I like to exhale up, take a nice inhale here, and then exhale back down. Up, and then down. 2 more. Up, 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 up. And we're not going to do any rocking today, just because I'm not familiar with who's on our call today. I know we have our T-Mobile digital team friends, and I'm not sure how their backs are doing. So before I inadvertently ask someone to do any kind of rocking, we'll save that for another day. Come on down, stretch those arms and those legs wide. Slowly press yourself up into one final child's pose. If you need to, give yourself a little wiggle. And then as soon as you're ready, I'm going to very slowly come up to standing because you know what time it is. Once I'm up to standing, I'm going to bring those arms up overhead. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, roll forward like I'm rolling over an imaginary beach ball. If you want, you can shake those heads, yes. Shake them, no. Shake those arms. Shake your shoulders. Shake your booty. Take a nice deep inhale and then exhale, articulate that spine. Up, 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 up. Arms up. And then bring them down and wide. Beautiful. Well, thank you all for joining me on today's Wednesday Mat Pilates class. I will see you all Saturday at 10 a.m. And again, thank you to T-Mobile for joining us today. I'm really excited to have more friends to add to our little Pilates community, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. So see you later, everyone.